Thank you, Madam Discussion Leader. Annette, this is the best speech I've heard you give, without doubt. Not even close to the others that you've worked your way through. I like the slides. They were easy to absorb. There were just a few of them, but they all had a strong message. There were quotes on some of them that spoke for themselves, and I thought that was handled very well. The one suggestion I would have at the end, I kind of felt the conclusion was long. You had the 3 slides, which I thought concluded very well, and then you continued into the wagon thing. Maybe reverse that.
Thank you. Jeff?
Thank you, Madam. Excellent body language. I like how you use facial expressions to keep your audience engaged and focused, which kept me engaged. That's it for that one. Are we going to the next one?
Yes, we'll do Pat's next. And Lisa.
Thank you. Annette, it was a wonderful use of humor and personal stories and using Pepper to explain your points. The only suggestion that I have is when your first point, Pepper suddenly disappeared and you became much more we, I, our. When you watch the speech, the number 2 and the number 3, the transition was much more smooth and you related back much more with interspersing Pepper with we, with our, and giving Pepper as an example of how Pepper does things and it relates to us.
Thank you. And I'm going to skip back to Don.
Net, 3 items. I really wasn't sure what the purpose of your speech was with respect to the organization you're talking to. So you might explain that. Remember, when you engage the audience, ask them to participate, that's going to take more time, particularly with a larger group. And I would use in your introduction, so I can talk about 3 things, have the slide with those 3 things as you did in your conclusion.
Thank you. And now Fred, please.
Wonderful speech, great beginning, excellent slides. I loved your metaphors, superb. As you practice this speech, however you rearrange it, get beyond your notes more, because I think you know this material, and that kept you from reacting directly to us.
I won't have notes on stage. Thank you.
Jack?
I'm the general evaluator.
Oh, okay. And Francisco. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll go Francisco and then John. Go ahead, Francisco.
John.
I pointed the other way, sorry.
Annette, your introduction and conclusion was solid. You had a simple, fun message, wag more. It would have helped me if you would have worked on the visual design of the slides. I thought it was real plain, and they could definitely be spruced up. I mean, it was like so plain it was distracting to me. But the pictures you had on the slides were absolutely amazing. The dog on the surfboard and the dog sniffing the other dog. That was all good. And the best part that I liked
Was that 30 seconds?
Oh,
Francisco?
seconds.
I had a great speech. I loved it. The only thing that I would suggest is that you don't press your arms so much. You had a lot of nice body language when you talk, but sometimes you were pressing too much. But I do love your slide transitions. It was seamless, so great job.
Carrie?
Great job.
I loved the wag at the end. I agree with incorporating it in a way that it is going to be a larger audience. Fabulous call to action at the end there. Suggestion, already been said, many, but enjoy the ride picture, had a little bit of writing on it, so I got lost in the reading. I tried to read it instead of listening to it, so I lost a little bit what you were saying. And a few less slides at the beginning. It seemed there were a couple, maybe have a collage that does that little section. Excellent.
Thank you. Glenn? Go ahead.
I'm going to stay seated because I'm back up. Good speech overall. I think one of the challenges you got to think about is the audience. If you have a larger audience, you're going to have a hard time doing all the physical interaction piece and keeping your timeline, because that interaction piece is going to really draw out with a big audience. Overall, the fellowship and shared idea, and I build on the call to action. I think, again, this challenging the audience throughout the speech is get a little more consistency. Created that challenge at the end, but bring that challenge in a little bit earlier and have a little stronger catch at the beginning.
Pat, do you have any comments for Annette?
No.
Tatiana?
Annette, great speech. I love your speech. I love your book.
Thank you.
I really like the way you interacted with the audience and kept the eye contact in the second part of your speech. But in the first part, maybe because of the notes, you weren't just reading. I mean, you weren't really reading, but you tried not to step aside. Suggestion about the slide is enjoy the right part. Say the first part yourself, don't let us read, don't show the slide first, say,
And we're done. Are there any members who I've skipped? And Annette, I will just add, I loved your phrase, Pepper's ageless dogma. I thought that was fantastic, and the whole thing was great, but everyone already said that. So if we could please, let's have a round of applause for Annette. Oh, Art, yes, and our official evaluator, Art.
I particularly liked one slide that is relevant today to my role. It said, someday you're the dog and someday you're the hydrant. Today I feel like the hydrant. In any case, Annette, you asked me specifically to look at content, and I'm glad I did have that opportunity, and I'll share more detail with you in one-on-one. But what I would encourage you to do is work on the opening. I think the motivation around all of us is to live, to learn, to love, to leave a legacy. And today I'm here to talk to you about love. And then you go into that. So I think a little bit more bringing out an opening might then build that momentum that you're looking for. Thank you.
Thank you, Art.